Alexa, stop. Welcome back to our channel. So now we're gonna be talking about you guys introduced the video.
Wait, okay.
See, they're not even ready. We're talking about something that leads to something.
Let's get it. I'm Jonathan. This is my brother Joshua, and we're gonna be talking about relationships, the juiciness of relationships, the honeymoon phase, struggles with being a millennial in today's social media age, and turn-ons, turn-offs, what we like in a significant other and stuff like that. So let's get right into it.
First question is, what's on social media is a turn-off for guys? So obviously it's a question for you and me.
You go first.
Oh my
He said, "Let me hear it."
I'm not trying to get canceled. I don't know,
Speak your truth.
and this is just a personal thing for me. But I'm not big on sharing personal stuff on social media. And I think that's okay to share personal stuff, but if it's coming off as projection and not helpful to other people, or so I know a lot of people post stuff about their life and it's like a motivational thing for other people. Then there's people who post stuff about stuff that's happening in their life and it's coming off as projection,
Bragging.
yeah. Or even just in a negative way, talking about what's wrong with your life. That's okay, but it's just so I guess for me oversharing on social media, and that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. We talk about this all the time when we're chilling with ourselves and Ben, which is our best friends. We always see people, no judgment, but we see people posting their animosities and hostilities towards other people and stuff like that, and they're projecting their problems in their relationships and stuff like that. And it's we can clearly see, we know what's going on, based off of what you just posted. And it's kind of a bad look. So for me, in a relationship, I would like the person to talk with me first, before anything. You know what I mean? So if I start seeing that, okay, let's say we had a disagreement, and the first thing you go to is your phone, you just start
Twitter fingers.
you know what I mean? Start posting stuff.
Yeah.
That's a yellow flag for me. I'm not gonna immediately just throw you out the window, but it's I don't know, that's a yellow flag for me.
I like that yellow flag.
Yeah. Some things aren't worthy of just kicking someone out the door for.
Yeah.
That is good.
Turn-offs for women, for you, Shamri, specifically. What's your on social media? What's your heart? She's like a dinosaur. She doesn't even really on social media, but if you were an avid social media user, what would be some turn-offs? Just off the bat, it's a no.
Off the dome, it's gonna be really similar to what they said. Really, I think it's pretty much the same. I hate oversharing. We had this conversation actually in one of our last videos, where when we start dating, nobody's gonna know. Yeah. Our close family
until the wedding
happens. Engaged. That's what you're gonna see. So I feel oversharing, and then we kind of touched on this in that same video. I wouldn't love if they commented on other women's Again, it depends on what they're posting. Right, so let's unpack that.
Let's unpack it.
So if they're posting, a booty picture, I'm at the beach, loving life, no, that's absolutely not okay. But if it's hey, I just bought my first car, been saving up for 2-3 years, haven't been able to go out, and they and comment that, absolutely cheer them on. But anything that's provocative, or that's attention grabbing, attention seeking behavior or posts, that's a red flag.
Yeah, that's not even yellow. That's not yellow. It's red.
It's a red flag, because what else are you doing?
It's white. You give up at that point. You're done.
It's for you. It's the why.
Yeah.
Why are you posting about that, or why are you engaging with that type of activity? Because that's just the same. If we were out and about, and it's one thing for guys to look at other women. I mean, at the end of the day, a beautiful woman is a beautiful woman. Just a handsome man is a handsome man.
Right.
So if you walk by, you're oh, it's a handsome man. Bring it back. It needs to be a. It needs to be.
You don't even need to say it aloud though. If you're with your significant.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, again, if it's a nice pair of jeans, we talked about this. If you want to compliment on something that's very bland, sure. Like a sports shirt, something like that. Sure, but anything that's like obviously woman is it's gonna be a no. So to bring that all back, it's posting on like provocative attention seeking posts. It's gonna be
so I have go.
What does that conversation look like with your partner? Like social media or like in person? Is it like how do you approach him?
That is tough. I think it would just have to be like, he would probably have to do it one time, and then it would have to be like, I give up on my camera.
You were just doing this.
It would probably have to be like, okay, so I'm feeling some type of way because you liked this post because. That's how it would have to start. So he would have to do it one time for me to have the conversation, because I'm not just going to be like, okay, we just start dating. Here are my lists of likes and dislikes. It would have to be like something that would come up, and either he would be observant to know that my mood would have shifted because I just saw something, and he would say like, what's wrong? And I would say, you know what? I need a moment to think about it, process it, whatever.
She always needs a moment.
I need a moment to process it.
Just talk about it.
I need a moment to process it. And then I would like, you know what? I feel this type of way because, and then we would have the dialogue then.
So you like someone with self-discipline?
I do. Yes, absolutely.
Important.
Just respect for your partner.
Exactly. I think that's what it comes down to. It's like, I'm going to do my best to make you happy because I care about you, I love you, so I would expect you to do the same thing.
That's good.
So if I bring something up to you and I say, this makes me feel uncomfortable, or this makes me feel like you're avoiding, insecure, whatever it is, I need you to do your best to try to make me feel comfortable about it. Even if it's like, okay, well, I don't think I shouldn't have to, like I should not be able to post on other women's pages. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's find a compromise then, if you don't agree with that.
Yeah.
So that's how that conversation will go with me.
I think for turnoffs, I have a lot for social media. Instant people that like get blocked or like not unfollow, but like the rejection to like follow me. If you're smoking in your profile picture, it's a no. I really like, it's immediate hard no. If you have kids, you're talking about dad of two, it's a no. Stepmother to none. Also, like, I hate when people are on, like, what you guys kind of said, oversharing, like, have a armful of money. When you really have money, you don't have to show it off. So it's a big no. Yeah. And I'm not motivated or, like, going to date you because of money. So, like, it's a huge turn off. Like, it's just, or when you're counting it, same thing. I really don't want to.
Standing with it, whatever.
Right. I really don't want to see it.
For you.
Also, like, because people overshare. If they have like stuff on their page that's like doesn't align with my values or like what I stand for, it's a no. I also like if I'm following you and you like have interest in me and I go through like I think they changed the Instagram update, but like you used to see like people's likes, like what they liked or whatever. If I'm going through your likes and it's like what you said, like women's pictures and like that's the problem. But like I'm at a better place in my life where I'm not snooping like that. So like old me would have been like taking the time, like hours out of the day to see like when you like this post and like did you text me back after you know, stuff like that.
The correlation
to see like when you were liking this post when you're supposed to be texting or like whatever. But I'm not in that space anymore. But like yeah, you just shouldn't be liking like I feel like you liking provocative pictures is a turn off. I mean, that's really it, honestly.
Those are just a few things.
To name off.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't like oversharing either. Like, I just don't. As I said in the old video, like, I'm not going to post when I'm in a relationship, and I don't want him to post in a relationship either because it just creates rift. So, yeah, that's kind of
what do you feel like
the thing.
Why do you feel like we didn't say anything about like women liking men's pictures?
Ooh, unpack that for us.
Why?
Yeah.
It wasn't a man. That didn't come to my mind, really.
For me, if I'm in a committed relationship, it definitely means that I definitely enjoy you. Like I probably love you. You know what I mean? That's just me. Like I can't really be in a relationship with people I don't really like.
Right.
That's with anything, friendships and stuff like that. I don't just hang around just anybody. That sounds kind of arrogant, but it's not.
No, that's real. You have to guard your circle.
Yes.
So I care about intention, and I'm the type of person, especially in the beginning, I'm going to give you not slack, but I'm gonna ask. And if you tell me like, okay, I'm liking these pictures because this is just Instagram for me and this is just Twitter, this is just a social media app, this is just a way for me to keep in touch and build, let's say, my brand, or me liking these pictures makes them like mine, and that builds my, you know what I mean? Like, if you're telling me these things, and I can tell that they're coming from a pure heart, because I love you, and love is unconditional. If it's conditional, I've learned in my experience, then it's not love, and you should leave and work on loving someone for who they are, and allowing them to be their own person as well, because you can only control yourself, can't control what other people do. You can only leave or stay.
Yep.
So like, if you are liking other people's pictures and other people's things and stuff like that, and you're telling me again like it's nothing deep, and you're telling me this, I have to believe you. If I don't, and I'm consistently nagging and no, why do you keep it? Then it's just becoming a toxic relationship, and I might as well just leave. So if I'm gonna stay in a relationship, I have to believe you. I have to believe your pure intentions, and that nothing is malice or.
What if they told you off the bat, like, oh, this is my ex-boyfriend, or this is like, and it's like attractive men. They're just like, well, I just like the picture, like he's attractive. Are you done then? Or
no, if you're telling me that this person is attractive and that's why you're liking it, you know what I mean? Like, that's different. You're not gonna just tell me like my ex is fine, I'm liking his pictures. That's red. Because I'm not gonna go through that for the rest of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going through that for the rest of my life. So if you're liking pictures and you're telling me to my face, if you're that bold enough to tell me that, oh, he's fine, man, that's why I'm liking it, then you're done. You know what I mean? But if you're telling me it's because, like, you know, he was part of my life, I cared about him before, we were friends, we only broke up because, you know, you know what I mean, just a distance or something like that, and I just simply care, then that's fine.
It's just, you're nice, okay.
I like it. That comes from a really deep place of like security, though.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
I'm learning that in love is a lot of things is about like just security. You can only just better yourself. You can't really control the other person.
Yeah,
it just becomes toxic after that.
Yeah.
So why are millennials waiting so long to get married?
Not the laugh. I think honestly it's because so in previous generations it was like, I think marriage is still a goal for a lot of people, but I feel like it was like a necessity. Like, a lot of women back then couldn't do things without a man. Like, you couldn't open a bank account, you couldn't have, you know, you couldn't even get a house like without having a man there. So it's kind of like, oh, I need you type of situation to help better me along. And I think today it's like, well, I don't have to settle for just any guy to do whatever. Like, I can wait till the right one comes along, and I don't have to, you know, minimize my standards, minimize whatever, because the fact of the matter is there's a lot of women nowadays that have a lot going for themselves, and men included as well, but it's like you're not going to belittle yourself or tolerate crap from a man that you shouldn't have to. I'm gonna continue to better myself in doing so, and a lot of women specifically are a lot career-minded right now, and if you don't come correct, it's like don't come at all. And a lot of guys just don't come correct. The fact of the matter is, and this is facts, guys mature slower than women do. This is not to say that all guys are, you know, immature or whatever, but they just mature slower. This is just the reality. But there are some younger guys who are super mature for their age. So it's not like one size fits all. But if you're coming to a woman who's like established and she like is secure in herself and she knows her value, her worth, you know, just want to settle for the okie doke and be like, well, you know, you can't benefit me anyway, and I can benefit you. So this relationship becomes one-sided, and then that's taking from me, and we're not building together at that point. So that's the reason why I think people are waiting to get married.
I also feel like a big part of it, unfortunately, is a lot of people inform their expectations of marriage through social media.
That's good.
Not, like, their parents are like real life examples. Even if you have like a good example of a wife and a husband in your house, a lot of people, like, you're spending 9 hours a day so scrolling through Instagram and social media, and you're seeing like these like like, I don't want to call it fake, but like for most people it's unrealistic to like be in like Instagram as a couple posting with like your Maserati in front of a mansion.
Mm-hmm.
But like most people are like waiting on that person to come into their life or waiting for the right relationship instead of like maybe seeing what's like right in front of them, and like might not be like a Maserati, or might not be like trips to like California or Mexico every weekend, but
Maldives.
Yeah. So like I feel like it's like the unrealistic expectations of like having like that not social media, but like having that perfect looking relationship.
That's good.
As we know a lot of times like social media like it's just social media.
Right.
It's a picture. It's not like
people only post what they want you to see. They're not going to post like the bad stuff in the relationship.
Yeah. I think this is a really deep question, and I think it's kind of cyclical. I think it's the man's fault, and I think it's the woman's fault, and I think kind of just like Josh said, it's just a lack of expectation or preparedness, I guess I should say, because I feel like women nowadays were born and we're taught you need to be independent, you need to be strong, you need to look out for yourself. No one else is gonna have your back. Like very like you need to be tough. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like, especially with like parents who only have boys, I feel like they're very like, okay, I have to nurture, I have to protect my boys, especially black boys. I have to protect my black men, so I'm gonna be a lot more forgiving, a lot more gentle with the boys. So I feel like, or men. So I feel like you have women who are have male characters, and then you have guys who have woman characters because they're being soft and sensitive and it's okay, I got you, I'll protect you. And then you have the women who are like, I'm strong and independent, I don't need you. So it's like a clash. And I feel like once it's reversed, or even I'm gonna tone down my masculine ways of me being independent, and I'm gonna make sure that my man feels that I need him, that he is the one that's the head of the household. I know that's a whole different conversation, the head of the household, but I feel like women have to take a step to be on the side of their man and not in the front trying to take charge. And I feel like men need to step up and be like, you know what? I see where you're coming from. I see you have to be independent and all of this. So I'm going to just make sure that I'm more sensitive and soft with you. So I feel like it's like a merging that needs to happen.
That's good.
That was good.
Yeah, for me, I just feel like we're trained to date. We're trained to do like the dating stuff and go out on dates to golfing and stuff like that. We're trained to like, have the sex, and we're trained to, just do dating stuff, but we're not trained to like marry. I don't think anyone really knows what it takes and what it means to actually be married.
Yep.
Because it's much deeper than just going on dates with Tyrone.
Right.
You're in a committed, like it's much more committed, much more duties and responsibilities. There's just so much more into marriage. And I feel like when people date and they get to that point after the honeymoon phase, and it's just like, wait, this is getting real. You're realizing that I'm gonna have to spend my life with this person. I feel like people get to that point and they just kind of get scared and they run away, and then it becomes a cycle of just dating and getting scared, dating, getting scared, and dating, getting scared. So that's my opinion.
Well, that leads us to perfect segue. How long do you feel like a normal honeymoon stage is? Is it a couple weeks after you start dating? Is it a couple months, a year? Like, what's a typical honeymoon phase?
I think it's a loaded question because a typical honeymoon phase is going to be dependent on the two people. So like, I feel like it's dependent on when those people decide to actually show who they truly are. Because typically when you're in the honeymoon phase, you're being super nice. You're trying to present the best version of yourself so that person deems you like lovable, likable. They feel like they can't be without you. And so everything is just pretty, coated in a bow, like whatever you want. You want my fries, have them, I'll get some more type of situation. But that's not always, you get tired of that. Right. But every person tires quickly, either like different rates. Yeah. So like for somebody, a honeymoon phase could be 2 weeks and it's like, no, this is me, like you can't have nothing, no. For another person, it could be like 9 months to a year. It just depends on that relationship. So I think that it's like, for me, I would say, I'm always on my best behavior. But until I start like, because I can come off very like, what's the word? Not like hard, but like very.
You're just very independent.
Yeah, I'm independent, and I'm, Yeah, we'll just stick there. Very independent.
Yes, for what it is what it is.
Yeah, and so like initially, like, you know, you're gonna try to tone that back, and I still think in general you have to temper yourself so that, like you said before, like you still make a man feel like he's a man without like he'd be like, oh, I can do it by myself, blah 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 blah. Right. So I think for me, before I start showing that, like, no, like, or pushing back, it could take like 2 years, a year. I don't know. It just depends on like the person who you're with. Like if that person shows that they can, like, this is a safe space or is comfortable, then you can break out of that quicker. But if the person is not showing you that it's a safe space or that you can be you, or they push back at any sight of you actually coming out, then you're going to be kind of like timid to be you because they didn't like it.
Dude, going off, do you guys feel like when you start dating, right, and like you're obviously aware of the honeymoon phase, should you like prepare earlier for that ending, if that makes sense? Like you said, like showing that person who you really are intentionally, just because a lot of times like the honeymoon phase like comes and goes, and then so does like the relationship as well. So do you guys feel like if you want it to last, should you be like, this is who I am, or should you just like let it happen naturally type of thing?
I'm a believer in letting everything just happen naturally. In my opinion,
I think now that you mention it, you probably should just be upfront and say like, this is what it is. However, I think that different characteristics can be tempered in the relationship, and that might be like an ongoing process, because you don't want like some traits that could be deemed undesirable. You don't want them to be overtake the relationship, because that could be present in any relationship, because they might just be undesirable traits. So I think that you just have to temper yourself in a relationship to I guess appease the other person, so to speak. I don't really know how to say it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with Jonathan. I think you should let it happen naturally. I feel like the honeymoon phase is kind of, I mean, it's like both sides of the coin. I feel like it's kind of like a lifeline when things get rough, because you can kind of look back and be like, okay, well, I know she's this. I know he can be this. We're just going through a rough patch right now, so let's work through
But
this.
it's not really him, because they were being nice.
It was him. It's just him at his prime.
But was it? It was what he was coding or showing you.
Not necessarily, because, like, for example, for you would come into a relationship kind of a little bit more tempered, because, again, your personality is more outgoing. But for me, I'm the complete opposite. So I would need to be a little bit more outgoing, or to be more open and more communicative in the beginning, because my natural state is to kind of just be introverted, kind of just think and kind of think through things without having to like verbally communicate. So I would be on my best behavior, because I know if I want this relationship to work, I see value in you, I'm going to have to do my best, and I'm going to have to push through and communicate.
Like you just said, though, that's not you, though.
That is me. That's me, again, at my best, because I can't be in a relationship as my normal, complete self, because, again, my normal, complete self is a hermit crab. Hermit crab can't be in a relationship. You know what I mean? I can't be in a relationship if I want to be in a relationship by myself.
Yeah.
So it's still me. It's just me pushing forward, and me making sure that I'm making the other person feel comfortable and welcome, and that I'm open to making myself and this relationship work.
I see what you're saying. So then in that case, I changed my answer.
Who ever change your answer?
No, because I didn't think about it that way.
Okay.
So I changed my answer.
That's just my process thought of it. I feel like you should have a honeymoon phase. You should. It shouldn't just be rough out the gate.
but you being your natural self doesn't have to be rough, because what if that person appreciaes those things?
It is true.
So it just I think it depends. It just depends.
More often than not, though, I think you need a honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
There's a lot in that.
No, that was good. That was really good.
Very good.
For me, it was this personal experience. It was like spending money. Just on that person, like I wouldn't spend otherwise. Like not even on myself, really. I'm sort of like frugal with my money. But yeah,
much more patient. You guys feel like?
Yes,
a lot more patient. A lot.
100%. But again, it's to your point. It's like, okay, I need to hear you out before I jump to conclusions about what I think you're saying, or what I think that what you did means that. I need to be more patient. Be like, okay, what does that really mean? What does that do to me? So I feel like you have to be patient.
Yeah. A lot of sacrifices to like your time, like you said, money, and just general like stuff that you wouldn't actually normally like. I might stop hanging out with my family this day to go hang out with you because I want to show you that you're of a high importance type of situation. When like along the line, like, no, you can just come with my family now. So yeah.
In my experience, I feel like a lot of women they're most giddy in the beginning, like they're in the start of the honeymoon phase. Like they laugh at everything. Like,
everything's funny.
Everything is extremely funny. I could do anything in the world. And
That's true.
But believe it or not, though, it used to be taught to women that you do that. You laugh at the man. You make him feel valuable. You make him feel empowered.
Yeah, sometimes it is fake. Yeah, because it's just like, you're not really funny, so I'm just gonna...
My brain, I'm
I don't think you should be fake during honeymoon. I think that's the thing. That's different. Don't be fake. Just, again, you're just pushing out what you already have. You're just pushing out more of it than you normally would.
Yeah.
Or reverse.
Because sometimes they don't deserve to, or you don't know, or you're not comfortable enough to just show them everything. Because it's more than just showing them personalities. It's like telling them your deepest and, not even darkest, but your deepest secrets and things you don't tell other people about anything. There's just so much about people that no one knows that at some point you're gonna have to tell or show your significant other. You're not just gonna meet someone and be like, oh yeah, I have this.
That's a red flag.
Yeah. I would like to get to know you more before you tell me about certain things about yourself.
Yeah.
So.
That's good. What do you do when the honeymoon phase is over? Do you stay? Are you a stayer or are you a leaver?
In the words of Jonathan.
Are you a stayer or a leaver? Hashtag stayer.
That's what you are.
I'm a stayer.
In the moment, how aware are you though of the ending? Really? Like I feel like for me it's easy in retrospect. For me it was.
For me, I feel like you just.
Well, how do you know? I don't know. Tell us how you know.
Okay. Let me see. For me, I feel like you know when. I feel like in every relationship, it's never going to be perfect, and I feel like once you hit, you're going to start off the honeymoon phase. It's going to be glorious, blissful. It's going to be like your parents and everyone's going to be able to see that you're smiling. Oh, you're smiling. You're glowing. And then I feel like, you get to start to know them. They start to show you different sides of them that may be toxic, may not be toxic. But I feel like you realize the honeymoon is over when you have to be like, okay, I see these things now, and I have to make the decision to show you unconditional love.
That's good.
Because before, it might have been conditional.
Yeah.
Because they were doing so many things for you. Now you're realizing that, okay, they're affected by school and all these other stressors and things are affecting them. There's a bunch that goes into it. Now you have to make that decision. Okay, I have to show unconditional love. There are things about you that are difficult, but I understand and I love them. I feel like once you have to sit down with yourself and make that decision, I feel like that's when you realize the honeymoon phase is over, in my opinion.
No, that's really good.
I feel like I agree with that, but just in my experience, it was like I didn't even realize I was sacrificing parts of myself until I was asking like how do you know like in the moment? Because I was looking back, I was like giving up parts of myself, and like not parts of myself like that, but like I was like sacrificing parts of myself, I guess, like just unaware of that though, I guess. So that's why I was like, I'm not really sure in the moment when it would end, but in retrospect, it was easy to recognize.
I think that's what you said. Is in retrospect, it's easy to find, but when you're in it, I don't think you necessarily know like that very minute. But I do think, to what Jonathan said, I do think the moment where you have to sit down and say, do I feel confident and safe enough in this relationship to address how I'm really feeling? Because I feel like, again, when you're in the honeymoon phase, they're doing their best, you're doing your best. Nothing really comes up. Like, you notice a few things, but pretty much, like you said, it's blissful. So I feel like the moment where it's like, okay, ouch, that's when you have to like, okay, I'm going to address why that hurt, or I'm going to address why, we need to address whatever it is because I'm feeling some type of way now.
Ditto.
Ditto.
So answer the question. Hashtag, are you a stayer?
Oh, stayer.
Are you a stayer?
Or are you a leaver?
I'm a stayer.
I'm definitely a stayer.
What do you guys?
If I've gotten up to that point, why would I leave? Unless they're not willing to compromise and they're not willing to let the relationship grow. That's when I leave.
Yeah.
Or they're just toxic in general.
Right.
They gotta peace out.
Right, and that was just like a final sign, like you need to leave. This is not the relationship for you.
Yeah. It's been fun. Hasn't been a whole lot of fun, but
Not at that point. Not a relationship.
But bye.
You drained me.
Thanks for that.
Can men and women be in platonic friendships?
Y'all know how I feel about this.
No, I had
So,
to
you said what?
What's your answer?
No. No. I think,
I kind of agree.
so
Where to begin?
So I think that the intentions start off pure, and that intention, like beginning, it can be like friendship, and it's fine. But I think this is what I'll say. If you're in a relationship with someone, can you have and the opposite sex as a friend? No. And the reason why I say that, check the other video, is because usually if you have a friend, that person is like your confidant. You go to them for a lot of things. And so in your relationship, if things get hard in that relationship, your default might be to go back to that friend instead of going to your significant other to discuss whatever. So then now you're in a love triangle with the supposed friend and your significant other. And women, a lot of times, I can speak for women because I am one, are shysty.
Most of the time.
They are shysty, and they typically, like, if they're friends with, like, you can like I said, you can always tell when a woman wants you. Can just tell, even when and a lot of times guys will be like, oh no, we just, that's homie, da da da. No, she's not. She wants, yes, right. They don't want to admit it. Like, no, she wants you. She should not be sitting at the edge of your bed chilling. Like this, it's stuff like it just can't be. Now I think sometimes it's in the reverse, and this might be like bias. I don't know.
This is a double standard.
Yeah, it is a double standard. Like, I think sometimes women can be friends with guys.
Wow.
But I think it's because sometimes, and this is not all the time, guys don't all the time have discipline. Like, women typically have discipline to block from, like, I don't know how to say, like, I don't want to be canceled.
That's effective.
I just feel like a lot of times guys don't have, like, the discipline to, like, control their emotions sometimes. Like, women, we're very emotionally centered, but, like, we know, like, you know what? Hey, I'm in a relationship. Like, this can't even go further. Like, I'm sorry. But guys are like, oh, no, like, she's talking good. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's different. So it's just a no for me. It's a resounding no.
For those many reasons.
So let's say fine woman and attractive man. For me, I feel like women and men can be in a platonic friendship. But in most cases, this is generalization, but in most cases, the woman controls the narrative and the man kind of just follows that. So I feel like in a lot of cases, the man, especially if she's fun, he's going to obviously notice that, right? And I feel like from talking to, guy friends and stuff like that, there's things that you're going to think of, right? And I feel like in most cases, it's up to the woman to control the narrative, so she has to friend zone him and make it very clear the boundaries in this relationship. And to go off to what Nakari said, I feel like if you're in a relationship and you're gonna have opposite sex or whatever you're into friendships, then there has to be boundaries. We have to talk it out. This is the mature brain.
What is the immature brain?
Like I said, it's not mature brain. There is an immature one, but I'm not going to share it on camera.
Realistic brain.
Realistic, yeah. Where you have to talk to your significant other and be like, okay, these are the boundaries. This is what I'm comfortable with. You better be coming to me with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't overshare to your friends. This is just your friend. You guys are just here to care and support each other. I got all the other stuff. Like, you need someone to, talk to about this or cry to about this, and I got you on that. He don't. He can go find him another, like, you know what I'm saying? He can go find someone for that.
Right.
A lot of times single men love to just pick and choose whatever, you know, woman they want to, like, grasp onto. And then once they get in a relationship, now they're doing that with their woman. They're leaving their friends. Stuff like that. I feel like a lot of ladies need to understand that. A lot of times he's grasping on to the nearest woman. And then right when he finds a woman, he's going to go grasp her for the rest of his life. So just for the guys out there, I feel like leave the woman alone in a lot of cases. Go find you one.
Tell them again,
you know
Josh.
what I mean?
What the Pittsquad says, I was fine until you came in ruined.
Really?
So, yeah, that's how I feel.
That's good.
I'll let you go.
For me, I don't like you said, like what'd you say? Like the mature you.
The mature,
mature
that
brain.
For me informed me a lot of like when I'm thinking. So maybe this is like unrealistic, but I feel like for me, as long as boundaries are set, either way, as long as boundaries are set, and I'm aware of the relationship, I'm aware of like at least like conversations you're having with that guy friend, and like the nature of that is like if you're bringing him around when I'm around, like if you're hanging out with him one-on-one versus like you're inviting him and like he knows I'm there, he knows I'm present, he knows how much I mean to you. I feel like that's a boundary that like I would accept. But like obviously there's like certain circumstances where like if you're hanging out one-on-one, if like you're having conversations that you're not having with me, that's a boundary that like I can't give it that.
And there's guy code. Men understand guy code and what not to do and what to do. So if he's doing something he's not supposed to do, he's blatantly doing it in a lot of cases.
Men are spicy too, like extremely. Like men. I think women get a bad rep, but men like are just as bad, if not worse. I think.
I think they're equal. But we were having this conversation in another video. I feel like women love, and it's really sad, women love when they see like married potential men in other relationships. So like I'm drawn to a man who has committed to a woman. I'm drawn to that fact because I seek that myself. So I'm going to be drawn to a man who can stay committed and loyal and the relationship looks perfect, whatever it is. I'm drawn to that. So if I don't keep it in check, I'm going to get shysty. I'm going to be around. I'm going to flaunt a little bit more around him.
Hello.
Y'all not married yet. Or y'all are married, but y'all having problems. This isn't a problem
And I know
here.
this.
You say, come get good.
I'm outside your door waiting for me.
So I feel like because of that, I'm more with Josh in the fact that if I know that whenever you're bringing her around, I'm present, we're friends, we're cool, and it's nothing more than that. You don't really talk to her without me being there, then we can have that relationship. She can stay. But it's the moment where I go to her and she knows information that I'm not sure how she found out. The information that should have stayed between two and now she has. That's where, again, that's a red flag.
Yes.
That's a no-no for me.
Yeah. Burgundy.
You knew.
Next one. When do you know that you are ready for the next phase with marriage for someone?